Hello, and welcome to Being Becca Not Live. I am taking a break from live stream this week to get some other things done. And since I have myself all appropriate, since I was doing other work things, I got a little makeup on, and I got a bra on, I'm all together. I figured I might as well just record tonight while I'm thinking about the things I'm thinking about, and leave you this for tomorrow so that I can have my day be a little bit less stressful tomorrow. Or rather, as you're watching this, today. So for me right now, it's Tuesday evening, and I just finished up my last sort of obligation. That's the right word I want to use. My last obligation of the day. And it was actually a recording for InfoDump, as you guys may or may not have paid attention. I am doing an amazing series with Bud Doug on InfoDump. We're doing a four-part series for June called Pride in Your Roots. And we're going to be bringing you some of the most prolific advocates that we've got out there to talk about where all of this came from. What is it? We have a Pride Day on June 18th, Autistic Pride Day. What is it that we have to be proud of? Right? Where did we come from? And what did these folks do in a time before they could just hop on Facebook? So we had a great conversation today with our guest, who I will share with you, with Wen Lawson, and I am very excited about that. I love talking to other smart people who share my passion for autism. So Doug and I had a fantastic conversation with Wen, and I want to talk about the things that are on top of my mind about it, right? So I'm going to go for that today, and hopefully you guys will forgive me for throwing you a recording for this week. So what I want to kind of like backtrack. So I've had a really frustrating days. A lot of it has been about things and people who, for whatever reason, were like, no, we've got this, right? Even though Becca's going, well, right? With like plenty of warning. So it's not exactly I told you so situations, but situations that didn't need to become really, into a state of emergency, I want to say. But on the other hand of all that, it has sort of lit the fire under my ass, I want to say. The frustrations of the last 3 days, which was a lovely, lovely mix of work and personal, and not feeling heard. And so now that I'm past it, what I want to say is what it did do is light a fire under my ass to really put in motion some of the things that I know I need to put in motion. And some of that stuff I can't share with you just yet, but I will. I promise you. Not only will I share it with you, but I'm going to take you on the whole goddamn journey of the whole fucking thing. So you just sit back and relax, because when I can bring it to you, it's going to be good. I promise. And as you can see, you guys, I got my color done on my tattoo. It's very hard to show you. Oh, that was good. The color and how it's finished, but because I'm autistic and I'm doing it backwards, and that's the other side. I don't know. Hopefully you've caught a glimpse of it. That is my tattoo. It's for has a lot of spiritual meaning for me and very personal meanings for me. But overall, generalized, it's an Alice in Wonderland tattoo, and you need not know anymore until I feel like sharing. So that is all done. You guys might notice that it's still really healing and flaky, so it doesn't look very pretty at the moment, but it will get there like other things. But that is enough of that stuff. That is enough of my lessons in patience and the stuff that I do have coming your way and the things that I'm excited to share with you. But in this moment, I want to share with you some things I've been thinking about. So it was my plan, right, to talk about today, and for it to be live stream, for us to talk about my Spectrumversary. So last Sunday, like 3 days ago, it was my Spectrumversary. It was 10 years since I got diagnosed to the day. And so it was a time for look back, and it was a time for thinking about where I'm at, where my focus is, where are my goals, what do I want to do with my life, do I like what I'm doing with my life right now, and a lot of that stuff was triggered by these compounding events of not being heard, right, and respected. So I've had to make a couple of decisions. I've made them. I've put them in place. I stood in the risk doorway that I talked to you guys about, and I have fully stepped forward into the risk zone, where I'm going to chase after my next chapter. And I'm excited. You guys have sort of been on the journey. I caught up with you guys about this stuff sort of in the tail end of my journey, right? Didn't start this YouTube channel until I got here to Colorado. And so that means it's only you've only known the tail end of the chapter that is my diagnosis. I'm working on sharing the rest of that with you as I'm writing this book that I'm working on that we talked about. It's hard. It's about trauma. It's about all of the hardships and all of the things that um, have been misboxed in my life, mislabeled, right? All of the times that things went away or people treated me away or whatever. And so it's digging up a lot of stuff. But what I can tell you is, remember, I decided I was really treating this book as a goodbye to telling that story, a goodbye to that being my story, because I'm living a whole other life right now. I've for the last 10 years, I feel, okay, let's say for the last 8 years, I feel unrecognizable to the person whose story I am writing about right now. And that's hard because I lived through the pain of it. And I remember how um, desperate and angry and isolated I was until I got my diagnosis. And so having to think about that person has caused me to want more for that person, has caused me to want comfort and delight and joy and all of the things I didn't get in childhood. And so I'm in search of that. That is my current mission. All of the things that I am chasing in this moment, that I am reordering and reprioritizing as a result of this awful feeling like other people had been in the driver's seat of my life for the last 6 to 8 months, and I don't like it. So I'm taking back my driver's seat. I'm locking the doors. Ain't nobody else allowed inside the vehicle with me until they are invited. Because I find my truest self and my truest needs, wants, and beliefs when I am alone in that car. And I have overcrowded my vehicle for the last almost a year. And too many people have been in. They've been putting on their own music. They've been deciding what we listen to and the routes that we're taking. And I say, no more. Get out. Call an Uber. I'm on my own. So that's where I'm at right now. I want to say Antonio and I. When I say Antonio, me, the dogs, our snakes, our tortoise, the whole deal, right? All of us have had to not hyper focus, but like, what's the word? Zoom in our vision. That's what I want to say. Zoom in our vision to really look at our particular relationship and our particular life and the way that we want to live it, and say, here's what's not allowing that to happen. Here's what we're running into. And so as I'm running through this 10th year, right, I want you to know that I am thinking a lot about whether advocacy is still for me. I am thinking a lot about what advocacy looks like for me. And I'm thinking a lot about what's the word? Okay, so you know how I talk about being flexible with our lives and the buildings and in Japan, and we just want to stay a little bit flexible, right? Because things change, because we change and evolve. There is a piece of me that has stepped into another like spiritual level. I've leveled up spiritually, and I've had an awakening, and I need more time alone to process it, because it was instigated by these like emergency fires. Basically, in the last 3 days, my entire life blew up, and I had to rethink how I wanted to do everything. And I've had, and thank God, Antonio and I are excellent partners, and he's really the only real person that I know. I said that to him today. I said, I love you so much. You're the only real person that I know. And I don't know how to explain that any better. I'm sure you people will understand. And I feel like I've led a lot of unreal people in. And I'm thinking as I'm getting older and I'm finding less and less tolerance for things that it's very similar for me to being a little kid. We've talked about a lot. My sensory tolerance is very low. My tolerance for other people is getting lower. All of those things, my ability to fake social, my ability to mask, my desire to do those things, right? Right? And so, what that means for me and what it's been instigating our thoughts about when I'm living this very public, forward facing life, right? I'm not being true to this new spiritual awakening. And so in there's learning. And so I'm looking at this year ahead and I'm really thinking about it as a time and a place of closure and transition for myself. And that has now been validated to me by the universe, because this is what the universe does. It disrupts your shit, right? We all hate change, we all hate it, and I tell you over and over again, if you're doing your job as a human being and you're continuing to evolve and you're continuing to work on yourself, right? Your goals should evolve and change with you. We shouldn't ever reach a state of stagnation, right? As human beings. We should always be seeking to sort of evolve in some way, to learn, to know ourselves better, because as we age, we change. As we learn things and have more and more experiences, we change. And our lives need to be flexible enough to reflect that. When we have moments of awakening and we decide we want to shift our path or chase a little bit something else, or to that the life we worked so hard to create, like I did here in Colorado, suited me when I moved out here. The reason for coming out here, it did its job, right? I did my job, the whole thing. But I have now changed and evolved over this time, and I now want slightly different things out of my time on the planet. And so it's reminded me is that if I want something bad enough, I can have it. The thing is that I have to power the ship. I have to drive the car. I have to be on the path. I have to stay in my own lane. All of the reminders. I have to practice the pause. All of the reminders. I have to do all of those things. And because of these various situations, I can't wait to download all of this to you guys, because of these various situations, right? It was like a magnifying glass to the fact that I really can't trust anybody else or anybody else's voice in terms of creating the life that I want to live. That it's this consistent feeling of stepping 3,000 steps forward and then 12,000 steps back, because that's how it feels sometimes, right? Is not the balance that I seek. And or no longer, that's what I want to say, really more specifically, it's no longer the balance that I seek. As a small child, I had a dream of hermiting away in a house in the mountains and being a writer. And I want to give that kid her dream. And I've had to do other things and take shortcuts and take turns off the path and come back to it later, because we have to survive out here. We have to pay our bills. We have to do our things, right? We also have to continue to try different things and try doing things in a new way, or try experiencing different things in order to find the things that we do like, right? And if we're not out there doing those things and experimenting in life, then we'll never find what it is that we truly love, or never be able to create a life that we really want to live in. And so it is with that thought, right, that I'm here sharing this with you, that I am in a fork in the road, and I am inviting you in this moment to join me on that journey, because you guys missed the first half of this chapter, right? The first half of the first chapter after my diagnosis. You guys missed the beginning. And I am putting a big old close up to chapter 1, and I really am ready to move on to chapter 2. I want to know what life has to offer me on the other side of this sort of personal development journey, and learning to share those thoughts with other people, and really finding my voice and believing in myself as, can you hear the dogs? You probably can. I made it a whole 15 minutes into this recording without them, and Antonio just got home. So you guys can for sure hear them right now. This is what I call the group howl. But I'm glad that Antonio is home, because what it tells me is I've been talking for long enough. I want you guys to join me. That's what this is. Join me on this journey, because I'm about to close chapter 1, and I want you to see what it looks like as we go through a transition of closing a chapter and opening another. I want you to see that when you are no longer comfortable in the life you have created, that you can, because you are resilient as fuck, you can say, this isn't working anymore. And I don't have to sit in it just because. I can move it and change it, and it can move and change with me. It's the life that I'm taking with me, not the life that I'm trying to, like, you understand? It's all of that stuff that I talk about. It's supposed to be my life. And so if I'm changing, my life has to change. And it's gonna. And I'm excited. And I'm most excited to share that journey with you guys. So what that's gonna mean for me, I think, and I'm excited, is learning how to vlog, like real vlog. Like, here's a vlog of my day. Like, take you out there with me. Like, Becca, get a proper camera. Like, go get a GoPro. So I think I might invest in a GoPro, and really take you guys with me, because I think it's going to be a fun one, and I think it's going to be an up and down roller coaster journey that I think is worth sharing. So that's sort of my next chapter. And what I want to say to you is that the spiritual awakening, or I don't know what else to call it, this awareness that something has shifted, right, is exciting. The process of getting to that place is really shit. So I want you to understand that the universe has its way. And when it looks like to us, as we look out into our world, like everything is against us, which, let me tell you, I had an us versus them day that I know is not the way that I want to live my life. It has made me aware that the older I get, the less I can surround myself with neurotypicals and things like that, and other changes are going to have to be made. And in order to prepare for the changes that I want to make, I have to walk through sort of this really uncomfortable space. And we know it. I've talked about it. And so what I'm saying, I guess, is it's going to get ugly. And I want you to come see it. I want you to see the bad, the good, the bad, the ugly. I want you to be part of this next chapter so you can see it from the beginning, right? And I'm excited for that. And I'm excited for to hear what you guys think about all of it, and when I'm able to talk about it. But for right now, what I want to say is, there was a meme this morning that was the thing that was my moment. It was my ding, 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 aha moment. And I don't know if it'll make sense to you, but I'm going to take these last few minutes to share it with you, because I think it will tie together all of my cuckoo thoughts right now. And so shout out, oh, it closed on me. Shout out to Autistic Calum, and that's autistic_Calum, Callum. And I'm going to try. Here we go. Okay, look, so you can see it. And he does these brilliant memes where he's taking old Hollywood and he puts autistic shit to it, and I think it's fucking dope. So this meme says, autistic me watching people struggle with something that I could easily take care of, yet choose not to because my success would only make them angry. And that's it, right? Here's the deal. I look out at the world, and I know a bunch of you autistics do too. We look out in the world and we see a lot of chaos. And our brains can't help but find the patterns in that chaos. Our brains can't help but distinguish the solutions to a lot of the chaos that we see. What we find, though, is despite having the solutions, we can't garner enough respect or enough power, right, to have those solutions make their way to the forefront. Moreover, there is an ego and a lack of hubris surrounding the neurotypical community, and I think that's because a lot of them aren't really neurotypical, right? I think a lot of them have some form of neurodivergence that's undiagnosed, and they too are struggling, right? But they're just doing a better job of being part of the play than we are, right? And because they are um, trying to fit into this world that we as autistics know isn't really going to work, all we can do is sit back and not interrupt their mess, because we're just going to piss them off when we show them the obvious solution. And this reminds me of the way we should be thinking about ourselves, right? Think about that. There is so much shit out there that autistics could fix if we just were given a chance. And it would take us half the time. And it would take us half the people, half the manpower, half the everything, right? But we can't dare to do that right now, because as the neuro minority, we don't have the power, privilege, money, etc., to have them hear us. So their own ego, right, is sitting in this giant blockade path, preventing the success, essentially, as the way I see it, of the human race, right? Not taking advantage of all your possibilities and all of the options and all of the everything. Instead, there's this ego, this hubris about being normal and being social and all of those things that prevents them from hearing us, prevents them from hearing the logic or the solutions. And for me, that is getting to be a fuzzy area, and I don't think that I can play in that pool anymore. I'm too tired, I'm too old. And I'm just feeling the need to surround myself with autistics and only autistics, because it's just so much fucking easier. It's just so much fucking easier to be surrounded by that. And it's with those thoughts and the thoughts of wanting to chase this dream of being a hermit that I leave you, because I think I can make a hermit's life. I think I can build one, and I think I'm going to like it, and I think it's going to be pretty damn fucking cool. So, with that, I say thank you so much for listening to my ramblings, of which I could not give too much detail for the last 22 minutes, but it's going to get good, so stick with me, right? And for the moment, I want to say thank you for understanding I couldn't do a live today. I will be back next week, next Wednesday at 11 a.m. Mountain Standard Time, live, I promise. Bringing to you some stuff that I think we'll need to talk about, right? As we always do, the challenges of being an adult autistic alive right now, and not when research catches up. I say to you my words, which are always: go out there in the world, you guys, and seek joy, create joy, share joy. I sure could use some of your joy over here. It's been a rough one. So share it with me, even if it's a stupid, funny meme. If you make me laugh, you've shared your joy. That's what I say. And so put it in the comments wherever you're seeing in this video. Be sure to share this video and share the stuff on my channel if you think it's good. Things here are about to get shaken up, as they are on my social media. And I think I'm going to do some new things that I haven't allowed myself to do just yet. And yeah, that's where I'm at. So I hope you guys have a great rest of your week. I will, of course, see you out and about on the interwebs. I do hope that you will join me and Doug for the Pride in Your Roots series that will be beginning next Wednesday, which is June 1st. The first episode will be dropping. And for the next 3 weeks after that, it's a 4-part series. So we're bringing you 4 interviews in the month of June, for which I hope you will take some time to be educated, to share space with those who came before you, and to just be aware, be educated, and to really celebrate our pride of being autistic in a way that I think is meaningful. I hope to see you guys there, but before that, I will see you back here next Wednesday. And of course, I'm always out there. If you email me or you comment on my social media, it's me. I reply. I love hearing from you guys. My email is down below in the description, and of course so is my website. You can always get in touch with me there. I'm happy to be a resource, and of course if you enjoy my content, you can use the Ko-Fi link down below to say Thank you. I will be bringing you more content next week, and I hope I have something more organized to present to you. But this felt important to say, and so I hope it all made sense together. Have a good one, you guys. I'll see you out there. Bye.